It's the summer of 1971. The Cold War is at its peak. An American journalist named James Reston is in Beijing, one of the very few Westerners allowed inside China at the time. He's there to cover President Nixon's historic diplomatic mission. But then something unexpected happens. He gets appendicitis. He's rushed to the anti-imperialist hospital in Beijing. Yes, that's really what it was called. And Chinese surgeons remove his appendix, standard procedure. But afterwards, the pain from post-operative gas is unbearable. So the doctors offer him something he has never seen before. A nurse comes in with a thin needle, then another, then another. She inserts them, not near his stomach, not near the wound, but into his elbow, his knee, his ankle, and slowly the pain fades. James Reston was a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, a skeptic by profession, and he was so astonished by what happened to him that he wrote about it on the front page of the New York Times. That article, published July 26, 1971, is widely credited as the moment acupuncture entered the Western imagination. So what actually happened in that hospital room? Was it magic? Was it placebo? Was it something else entirely? Today, 50 years later, we finally have some answers, and they're genuinely fascinating. Not because acupuncture is mysterious, but because the science behind it turns out to be surprisingly real. I'm Your Name, and this channel is about understanding the East and the West, not through stereotypes, but through the ideas and discoveries that connect us. Today, we're talking about acupuncture, one of humanity's oldest medical practices, and one of the most rigorously studied forms of alternative medicine in the modern world. Let's start with the basics. Acupuncture is a practice that originated in China over 2,000 years ago. The idea is straightforward. Insert fine needles into specific points on the body to relieve pain, restore balance, and promote healing. The traditional explanation involves something called qi, pronounced qi, a kind of vital energy that flows through invisible channels in the body called meridians. When that flow is blocked or disrupted, illness follows. The needles restore the flow. Now, if you're a Western-trained scientist, you might raise an eyebrow here. Invisible energy channels? Vital life force? Fair enough. Modern imaging technology has never found a meridian. No one has ever photographed qi. But here's what makes acupuncture different from many other traditional practices. Researchers didn't stop there. They kept asking, okay, but does it work? And if so, why? This is where things get interesting. When researchers used modern brain scanning technology, specifically fMRI, which shows real-time brain activity, they found something unexpected. Acupuncture needles, inserted at specific points, produce measurable changes in the brain, not in the imagination, not in self-reported feelings, in the actual physical brain, in regions associated with pain processing, stress regulation, and the body's own natural pain relief systems. Let me give you one concrete example. One well-studied acupuncture point is called ST36, located just below the knee. When this point is stimulated, studies have shown it activates the hypothalamus and limbic system, areas of the brain deeply involved in regulating pain and stress responses. Other research has shown that acupuncture triggers the release of endorphins, your body's natural painkillers, as well as adenosine, a molecule that acts as a local pain reliever at the needle site. In other words, the needle goes in, the brain responds, the body produces its own medicine. That is not magic, that is neuroscience. Today, acupuncture is recognized by the World Health Organization as an effective treatment for a range of conditions, including chronic pain, migraines, lower back pain, osteoarthritis, and chemotherapy-induced nausea. The U.S. National Institutes of Health, one of the most rigorous medical research bodies in the world, funds acupuncture research. Major hospitals in the United States, the UK, and Germany now offer it as part of integrative care programs. One landmark study, known as the Acupuncture Trialists Collaboration, a meta-analysis pooling data from nearly 18,000 patients across multiple countries, concluded that acupuncture produced effects that were clearly greater than both placebo and no treatment for chronic pain conditions. 18,000 patients, multiple countries, peer-reviewed, published in the archives of internal medicine. This isn't fringe science. This is the mainstream medical establishment saying, there is something here worth taking seriously. Now, I want to be honest with you, because that's what this channel is about. Acupuncture is not a cure-all. The research is strongest for pain management and weakest for things like fertility, weight loss, or curing serious diseases. Some studies show strong effects, others show modest effects, a few show none at all. The ancient explanation, qi, meridians, almost certainly doesn't describe the biological mechanism accurately. But here's the insight that I think is most important. A theory can be wrong, and the practice can still be useful. The ancient Chinese physicians who developed acupuncture didn't know about the nervous system, endorphins, or fMRI scans, but over thousands of years of careful observation, of trying things, watching what happened, and passing down what worked, they discovered something real. They built a map of the human body. The map used the wrong language, but some of the roads were in the right place. James Reston went back to America and wrote his article. He never fully understood what those needles did to him, but he knew something had happened, something real. Today we understand it a little better, not through mysticism, through science, through the kind of patient, rigorous inquiry that takes an old observation seriously enough to test it. And to me, that's one of the most beautiful forms of cultural exchange there is. Not accepting something blindly and not dismissing it either, but asking, what is actually here? Next time, we'll look at Chinese herbal medicine, a story that goes from ancient pharmacopoeias all the way to a Nobel Prize, and the scientist who changed how we think about both traditional knowledge and modern discovery. I'm Albert. Thanks for watching.